Hi everybody and welcome to Hex Token channel, your host Superman in the house. Hope you are doing well today. Is everyone doing well? Is everyone? Come on, you must be doing well. Yeah? Great. It's great to hear. Let's see. Welcome to the channel, of course, your host Superman in the house. And man, oh man, things are going very well indeed. Very well indeed. And we're going to have a great show again. We've got a few insights in today's show. Yes, I know you guys like those. And I love them too. So we're going to have those. So enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Lots of good things happening. Everything is continuing to move forward for us on every front. You can ask for a better run here, as it's going to get better as we move into the year. Now we do have one hurdle that will cause volatility. We'll talk more about that later. But apart from that, everything is going pretty glorious for the old Pulsechain Hex ecosystem, founded by, of course, Richard Hart. So we're going to talk all about that during today's live stream. I've got no honorable mentions today. I had one, but that ended up disappearing. It's just the way it is. Don't forget to subscribe on the way in. Smash that like button, hit the bell as well for future videos. And of course, I wanted to actually say a big thanks to a lot of the members that support this channel, subscribers. I really do appreciate it. As you know, community is number one. It's just the community is what makes things great. Richard Hart said that. He said the one thing that's really surprised him to the outside pretty much is the community. So a big shout out to all of you. You guys make it. That's what it's all about. Influencers do a certain role and other people do certain roles, but really it's about you guys, and it's really exciting to see. So we've got a poll on at the moment. I just want to talk about that. Will Hex break 7 cents and stay over it by the end of the week? Get in there and fill that poll. We got yes, maybe, no, and unsure, don't know. Get in there. We'll have a look at that when we get up to the Hex chart and we'll talk about Hex. The other thing, of course, I wanted to say a big thanks to all the members of the channel, not just subscribers, the channel members. So I wanted a special thanks to you guys. We've got a number of people that have been subscribers for a long time. So SKB, of course, the first ever channel member on the channel. And of course, 14 months, can you believe it? 14 months he's been a channel member. I appreciate that, SKB. And he drops in every so often. It's always great to SKB. He's also a Richard Hart Club member, so a big shout out on that one. We've got Simple Believer, of course, is also one of the longest channel members as well. So big shout out to Simple Believer. Appreciate your support. Brian, of course, one of our 2 community leaders, is also one of our longest members. Both of them are at 13 months long, so a big shout out. Art Moracal is also 13 months. A big shout out to Art there as well. And Hex and SB, who drops in as well, is often at the gym or something. But Hex and SB, big shout out to you. Also 13 months. So those are all people that are being channel members over a year. So a big special shout out to all 5 of you. I really do appreciate it. We've got a number of people, at least 3 people that are at 12 months at the moment. So I'll give it a special honorable mention to them. That is J Pond, Sandy Beach, and Angus Brute. And of course, Sandy Beach, one of our community moderators as well. So a big shout out to all 3 of you. We've got a few people creeping up on that, and we'll talk about them in another day. So a big shout out, everybody, to that as well. Now, if you want to become a channel member, of course, hit the join button. We've got Pulsechins, Hexicans, and the Richard Hart Club. Just a modest way of supporting the channel as we talk about Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsex every single day. Really, really cool. Now, let's get into it, folks. We're going to obviously get into stock market news for Tuesday. US time, and we're going to get into crypto news. We've got some cool news stories around crypto. Then we're going to jump into Hex, of course, talk about Hex, and of course the roadmap ahead for Pulsechain. We're going to talk about Hedron and Icosa, as always, the derivatives on top of Hex, and then jump into Pulsechain updates. So it's going to be pretty fun to talk about those. We've got some nice insights in there as well. And then we're going to wrap up with the Hex daily stats. So that's the show for today. As you guys know, we are at the turn of the UTC day for Hex, so we get to cover the Hex daily stats every day, hot off the press, so it's pretty fun. Let's get into the chat though, see who's around. We got Sandy Beach jumped in early there with the Sandy Beach. I love that. And we got JB as well. Evening Hex Token family, and hit the likes. Let me just go to my view here. Make sure that I'm looking at the chat there properly. Evening Hex Token family, hit the likes on the way in. Now, one thing I was having some issues with the video feed and I think that was due to the saving feature here on the Studio EV Mux is what I'm using, and I've toggled that off, and that seems to work much better. So I'm not having so many issues, and I haven't heard people talk about that. So that's kind of cool. See, we're aimed at improvement on this channel. We are open and humble, and that's what we try to be anyway, and upgrade the channel. Sandy Beach says, hello Hex Token everybody. We got Hex Force 1 has landed as well. Hello for Superman and Hexicans. Woo! Good to see Hex Force 1. We got Ted Nelson in the chat as well. Hey everybody, Hex is on the what? On the fire? On the rockets? I think it's on the rockets. Nice to see you, Ted. We got Rango in the house as well. Morning all. Good to see you, Rango. Wookie's in the house too, one of our moderators. Wookie on the bounce. Woohoo! And of course, big shout out to you, Wookie. Brendan in the house as well. I think we will break 7 cents today. I like that with the strong arm. That's so cool, Brendan. What else there? Blobfish King's in the chat there. Hi all. Wife banned me again from buying more Hex, so watching from the sidelines now. That's hilarious, Blobfish King. Blobfish King's been banned by his wife so many times. Probably because when the price was going down, that's probably the issue. But now, of course, price is going back up. So I think if some of those buyers are probably back in the money there. Anita as well says, hello everybody from Anita. We've got Brian says, sup folks. KD's in the house as well. Hello. Good to see you, KD. Let's jump through a couple of these. And Brendan says, yeah, community. Community gets the gold medal there from the community. They definitely do. Big shout out. And PSI in the house there. Superman! PSI dropped a bit of alpha in the chat earlier. I'm going to actually talk about that briefly. Obviously, it's not official chatter, but we will talk about it in any case later on. Get Hex is in the house as well. Teamwork makes DreamWorks is teamwork makes dream work. That's absolutely true, Anita. It does make dream work there. We got Alfred dropped in the chat as well, tapping into another Hex Tokens stream. Yeah, baby. I like that, Alfred. That deserves a bit of a magical. There we are. That's Milker as well in the house. Good to see you. MJ Money is in with the strong arm. Hey, MJ Money, good to see you as well. That's a pretty cool, what do you call it? A pretty good name, a rhyming name there. What else there? Let's jump through some of these comments. I'm going to get down to property review in the house. Hello, Hex Token. Looking good. Thanks for all the Hexicans coming to my channel. Much appreciated, Hex Token. Nice one. Yeah, if you haven't checked out property review channel, he's a Hexican. I've had him on the channel ages ago. And of course, he's an international real estate agent. He covers mega mansions. Amazing job on there. So big shout out to you, property review. Big shout out indeed. If you haven't followed him, go follow him. It's well worth it. Michael R in the house there. Hey, Superman. Woohoo. Good to see you, Michael R. And of course, Archipelago as well. What's up, all? Good to see you in the chat. Magnus in the house. Hey, Hexicans. Good to see you, Magnus. And Magnus says Magnus 8.02 is going to be the Hex price. Let's see. We might get that on a breakout. Don't know if it's jumped there quite yet there. So we'll have a look when we get there. Well, let's get into it, folks. Let's get into the fun times. And here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, around. Here we go. And of course, we're on the wrong page. So let's start off with the stock market. Stock market day, Dow suffers. And of course, monthly loss as Fed fears wound stocks in February. This is playing out basically what we've been saying, right? This is exactly playing out that way. So it's kind of cool. Stock market's acting more normal now. Stock market today, Dow suffers monthly loss as Fed fears wounds stocks in February. Let's look at the results for the indices. We've got the Dow Jones, the top 30 industrials in there, is down 0.7%, 232 points, down to 32,656 on the index there. The S&P 500 is down 0.3%, 12 points, down to 3,970. And the Nasdaq there, with all the tech companies, is down 0.1%, 11 points, down to 11,455. That is the Nasdaq there with all techs. The US dollar is up 0.3%, and that's up to 104.92. So the US dollar index versus its trading partners is up slightly. Basically, risk off, right? Risk off. That's pretty much it there. Let's go to the commodities and have a look at the Brent oil. Was no update here. It says pretty much flat for some reason. So $83, and of course the West Texas there is down, is up 1.5% there, up $1.16 for the West Texas, up to $76.84. And if we look on the monthly basis, it's good to look at that sometimes. We can see we started off the month at around about $80. So we're down 76, so down just over $3 on the West Texas there. Looking at gold, gold is pretty much flat, but down a tad, 75 cents at $1,833 an ounce. Silver is down just under a penny, is $21.01. So that really came down. It was up at near $24, down at 21. And of course, that really probably won't rally, as I said yesterday, until the interest rates pivot and the US dollar tanks. But there's other things that can tank the US dollar, but we'll see. But that's pretty much it at the moment. All right, let's get into it. The Dow Jones fell Tuesday, wrapping up February with a monthly loss. So the whole February monthly loss as surging rates battered stocks after a string of data pointing to underlying strength in the economy forced investors to price in higher for longer Federal Reserve interest rates. So there we are, folks. That is the key part there. Investors are being forced to price in higher for longer federal interest rates. And of course, we saw, I think, about 4 weeks of pullback in the stock market valuation there. Tech, which is down about 5% from its peak earlier this month, pared earlier gains despite a jump in Meta. And of course, we've got green here for Meta because Meta platforms rallied more than 3%, building on gains from a day earlier when the social media giant said it created a new product team to work on building generative AI tools to integrate into its products. And we know what these guys do with this stuff, right? Control us. These guys are not reliable with this technology, but hey, it's going to happen anyway. And we need competitors, right? We need competitors. If you want your freedom, we're going to need competitors. If you want your freedom, you have to stand up and make sure your politicians are protecting it, because these guys are looking, as we've seen over the last, say, 4 or 5 years, to take that away. All right, so let's move down here on the economic front. Meanwhile, consumer confidence in February fell to its lowest reading since November. This is actually good news, bad news for general confidence demand, but this is a big part. Remember, the US economy is around about 70% or so consumption. So obviously the big consumer of the world is the US. And of course, consumer confidence in February is a pretty key indicator for that. And February fell to its lowest reading since November. So that's actually kind of good news from one side of it. That's why I got in purple, because it's a mixed bag. Pointing to signs from consumer spending, pointing to signs of strong consumer spending, which has underpinned strong growth so far this year, may be starting to slow. Now, I haven't really talked about this too much, but you know, the balance sheets that the households have, they're slowly eating through those with higher inflation and higher interest rates. Maybe starting to slow, so confidence starts to wane a little bit too. The pressure comes on a bit, so yeah, it can happen pretty fast too. The data, that's why sometimes the Fed ends up overshooting a lot of the time, is because once it starts, the impact of interest rates and obviously inflation still holding up high and things like that, employment being affected, that it slowly starts to take its toll, and then accelerates pretty quickly with that delay. The data today continued to show that the Fed's job is very tough. Consumers are only just barely starting to rein in their spending plans. So that is kind of the green shoot for the Fed, as it were. But they still see good strength in the labor market, and that's the thing, right? So obviously the Fed, they're looking to trade their labor market employment for inflation. I mean, but they've actually got both of those as their goals. But of course, inflation got out of hand, getting up to that 9.1% on the CPI, and they're trying to pull that back. So that's kind of where we are. Now, a broader market slip in February was pressured by a surge in rates as strong economic data forced investors to play catch-up and price in further Fed rate hikes that have pushed the 10-year Treasury yields close to 4%. So you can see what they are now, 3.94, close to 4%. So that's the 10-year view. Imagine, very long way, 10 years, already up at 4%. Pretty high, right? Pretty high. And now they can move down pretty fast as well, but they've gone pretty record highs there, 4%. Investors will likely have to contend with choppy market activity in the weeks ahead amid inflation data, the Fed policy, and geopolitical uncertainty that will continue to be the drivers over the short run. So that is true, and I will be posting. You guys know, generally every month I post the time frame ahead for the big economic indicators that may have a big impact, and I'll post that. Try and do that today, get that out to you guys. I think that's pretty useful to put in your calendar. The trading range for the S&P 500 still looks to be within 3,850 to 3,950 support and 4,100, 4,200 resistance over the next few weeks. In our opinion, I think that's probably reasonable there as well. Now, let's quickly look at the Fed meeting. The Fed meeting's coming up in 3 weeks, so we've still got our extended window. And remember, these windows have been playing out pretty well, right? That's why we look at this stuff, because it gives us a generally good idea of what's happening in the environment, generally speaking. And of course, 3 weeks to go. So we got another week of good sunshine, have we? And would be great if Pulsechain testnet V3 came out in that time? I think so. It's kind of the holy grail of lineup there. Because as we get it closer into that sort of 2 weeks, 1 week period for the interest rate hike, you can expect even more volatility, particularly in the stock market, and crypto will no doubt get influence. We have seen some days crypto does okay, doesn't get influence, other days it does, and of course we'll be looking out for that, and the economic indicators expected to come up over the next 3 weeks, which I'll try and post that video as well. So 3 weeks and 19 hours to go, folks, to the Fed interest rate decision on 22nd of March. So we still have a little bit of extended window here for good times. And we're going to enjoy that, especially this weekend. Hopefully, we'll be excited. So that's pretty much it at the moment. Let's jump away from that and get into crypto. Should we jump straight to it? I think we might, but before we do that, let's get back into the chat and just catch up there. I want to keep this a bit more even toned here with not getting ahead of myself too much. Let's have a look here. We've got Ends in the house there. Let's go. Absolutely, let's go. I like that attitude. And we've got bright light crypto in the house. What is up? Good to see you, bright light. Magnus says in the beginning of the bull. I don't think the bull for Pulsechain potentially, but not the markets are going to be under a lot of pressure between March and June. We're expecting 3 interest rate rises, so I wouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves here. Enjoy the ride. Yeah, it's going to be fun, and Pulsechain's going to help us big time, but that testnet in particular. But there will be volatility in this period. Macro Valley in the house there, rockets to the up and to the right. I like that. Let's get into it. So that was pretty much it. I thought there'd be a few more comments, but that was pretty easy. Easy peasy to get through. Let's get into the stock market. We've got $23,149 on BTC. Is down 1.6%. We've got ETH is at 1606, down 1.5% there. And BNB at 301, $301.73, down 0.8%. So those are the leaders there. Looking at some of the other ones in behind there, we've got Matic is down 3% at $1.19. What else we got over here? We've got Solana is down 3.35% at $21.94. Let's have a look there. Let's have a look at our stable coins. USDC almost back at peg. Man, it's been under a while, obviously with the SEC issues. That's at 99.5, down up 0.5%, so it's very close to a peg. It's getting back there, and US dollar tether has been, which is the #1 stable coin, is at $1. It's been there consistently, so it's kind of cool. So look at BUSD. BUSD is also almost at $1 as well, up 1.12% after the SEC, Paxos, and BUSD issuings. That's pretty cool. But we've already seen Binance make a move with decentralized coins, stables. Excuse me. So we're going to talk about that later on in the live stream. Binance has already made the move, so this is really cool to see this in action. We'll talk about that later when we get a Pulsechain update, so stay tuned for that. So that is the market at the moment, so that's down a little bit there. Let's have a look at the market cap, 1.1 trillion. I think we were at 1.12 yesterday, so we're down 1.23% on the market cap. Remember that the bull market was 3 trillion or so, so it gives you an idea where we are. Let's have a look at the rankings at the moment. BTC, Ethereum, Binance Coin, XRP, OKB there, Cardano, Dogecoin, Polygon. This is on nomics.com, by the way. That's the top 10. And the biggest drop there actually is Cardano and Polygon, of those that I can see. Number 12 is actually Hex. Hex up 1 spot to number 12, sitting at 6.763 cents at the moment, up 7.27. Look at that. Out of all of them, all down red, Hex is the only one up green. Beautiful. And of course, the market cap there sitting at 9.55 billion, excluding Origin account stuff. And the volume there, 12.31 million. Yesterday we were up at 20 million, I think. So that's come down from there. The day before we were up pretty decent, and the day before that we're definitely at 10 million. So it's heading back down towards that, but still pretty good there, 6.76 cents. Solana at number 14, down 3%. Polkadot, Shiba Inu, and Litecoin 15, 16, 17, and then 18 is Tron. Number 19 is Avalanche. You can still see some of these are down double digits. Sorry, not double digits, 3 or 4%. That's pretty much it in the top 20. So that's on nomics.com. Let's see who the top big movers. Yeah, Hex there, top gainers. Hex at number 2. That's what we like. Top gainers from the top 100, right? Top gainers from the top 100. Hex is at number 2. Very, very cool. Another day. We were in there 2 days ago. We're back in the top leaders there. Very nice indeed. Helps when everyone else is going down, right? That's kind of the way it goes. So that's pretty cool. Let's jump over to the news. Let's talk about crypto news. Come on, let's do it. We got Visa says crypto strategy unchanged after a report that it's pausing new partnership efforts. So there was reports out there about Visa and moving into the space, and of course pausing with all the SEC stuff and other stuff. MasterCard says it will continue pushing on blockchain technology. So that's kind of cool. I'm not a big proponent of these guys. I want to disintermediate these guys with DeFi, but it's good for general adoption, right? So that's kind of the positive here. Visa said its crypto strategy would remain the same after a news report said it and fellow payments company MasterCard were halting efforts to forge new partnerships with crypto firms. A Reuters report on Tuesday citing sources familiar with the matter said the companies were delaying the launch of crypto-related products and services until market conditions and the regulatory environment improve. The delay comes after the high-profile industry setbacks, including the bankruptcy of crypto exchange FTX and digital asset lender BlockFi. A Visa spokesperson told MarketWatch that the company's strategy would remain the same as before, and that the report didn't accurately portray Visa's position on crypto. So it's kind of cool news. The spokesperson said recent high-profile failures in the crypto sector were an important reminder that there's a long way to go before crypto becomes a part of mainstream payments and financial services, and that Visa's priority would be maintaining the integrity of the company's payment system. Now, obviously, they're completely neglecting talking about DeFi. Quality DeFi is out there. There's plenty of it, so that this is a CeFi. This is criticism about CeFi. I do wish they'd be a bit more specific with it, but hey, that's they're going to be part of the CeFi system, not part of the DeFi system, pretty much. So the recent failures do not change our crypto strategy and focus to serve as a bridge, helping connect our both platforms and technology emerging in the crypto ecosystem with our global network of 80 million merchants, locations, and 15,000 financial institutions. So this is positive on the onboarding of the crypto, but it's negative from the centralized control aspect. So you got to get a mixed bag there. A master spokesperson told MarketWatch in an email that its efforts would remain focused on the underlying blockchain technology and how that can be used to build efficient systems for customers. So really on the blockchain with the blocks and transaction stuff there. As a big ledger, basically. MasterCard did not directly address whether it would be pausing out the rollout of products and services. So it's very different if you're using setting up protocols, cryptos and things like that, as opposed to just using the blockchain as well. Both MasterCard and Visa had partnered up with the crypto companies in the past year. MasterCard worked with crypto lender Nexo in April to launch its crypto supported payment card, and Visa had agreements with crypto exchange FTX that later cut ties with when the exchange filed for bankruptcy in November. So that's pretty much that at the stage. Now, one thing I was going to say is obviously, onboarding is important. So hopefully that feeds through into DeFi. That's where we want people to, get onboarded on the bad stuff and then come to the good stuff is probably what's going to happen there. Not that we want that, but that's kind of where we hope things go. People will get educated in DeFi. So we've got a lot of work to do in the DeFi community. Is a lot of education when people come into crypto to educate them, get them quickly into DeFi. Own your keys, your coins, immutable code. That's it. Your keys, your coins, immutable code. Let's do it. And of course, we help people, trying to, get educated around what's quality, what's not quality as well. The next thing, of course, big deal, and that is the Ethereum testnet successfully forks in Shanghai upgrade rehearsal. So obviously, this was the second test on the 28th, only just finished, of course. So that was pretty cool. The 28th Ethereum testnet successfully forked Shanghai upgrade rehearsal. Big deal here. As Ethereum Shanghai upgrade approaches next month, that is March, of course, the network's Sepolia testnet has successfully upgraded, simulating the scheduled hard fork. Remember, there are 3 testnets to be done. The next one is go earlier, and then, of course, the main Ethereum one there for the ETH withdrawals. So it's kind of a big news. The Ethereum blockchain Sepolia testnet has undergone a successful upgrade that simulates the upcoming Shanghai hard fork, expected to take place on mainnet in March. So still on track for that. The Chapella upgrade, which combines the names of the upcoming Shanghai and Capella for hard forks, was successfully implemented on the testnet on February the 28th. So great news, folks. Great news, and we saw that as part of one of Richard's updates around the Pulsechain devs looking to see whether the ETH withdrawals would be successful with this upgrade. So it's kind of cool there. And then, of course, they would upgrade the chain. Now, the timing of that, I kind of feel like just the timing, that if this goes through smoothly, then the team may very well just hard fork with the ETH withdrawal with the Shanghai in it rather than upgrade it. So that's kind of where I feel the team's going to head. Obviously, I'm not officially the team, but that's just my feeling there at the moment. Let me know in the chat there what you guys think about that. Just the timing just seems about right for that. So Chapella upgrade, which comprises the name Shanghai. So remember, Shanghai is the ETH withdrawals. Remember, people staked their ETH in December 2020 onwards. There's well over 16 million ETH staked there through different methods. Solo staking for validating, and of course pooled staking, centralized exchange staking, and staking as a service. So there's lots of different modes of staking there. And of course the Capella there was to do with automated I can't remember now, automated calls or something like that. So that's also in place there. Chapella testnet has successfully upgraded to Chapella. Some of the Prism validators are offline due to the old Geth version. They will become online in 10 minutes. And next stop is Goelia there. That's from Terrence.eth there on Twitter. And you can see a picture of that at the moment. So that's kind of neat. They got the blocks there as well for the upgrade. So that's all gone well on that testnet. The next testnet, of course, is Goelia. And then, of course, the mainnet after that. So that was kind of cool news. Here we go. Shanghai is the fork's name on the execution client side, and Capella is the upgrade name on the consensus layer side. So there we are. So Shanghai is the fork's name on the execution layer client side, and Capella is the upgrade name on the consensus layer side there. So in terms of Pulsechain, that would be like GoGeth and Aragon on the execution layer, and Lighthouse and Prism on the consensus layer side. One of the major changes enables validators to withdraw their staked ETH from the beacon chain back to the execution layer. So that is for the Shanghai side of it, the Shanghai upgrade. Validators need to stake 32 ETH, of course, to validate on the Ethereum blockchain. They will now be able to withdraw rewards in excess of 32 ETH and be permitted to keep validating, while those who wish to fully withdraw can take all 32 ETH plus rewards and ceasing validating there. So that's kind of cool. I think the ETH rewards that have accrued, the stakers since 2020 is around about 1.1, 1.2 million ETH. You can happy to correct me there, but I think that's about right in there as well, that people will be able to get. I suspect that some people think it might be a big sell event, but I think actually allowing ETH withdrawals actually makes people even more confident in the validating and staking. So that may very likely increase the yield. I think the yield at the moment people are getting for staking is around 5%. Obviously it started in the double digits, but I think it's down to 5%. So we may see a bit of sell-off there if people think that the yield is lower. That would be subject to wherever they think the ETH price is going, sort of self-fulfilling, isn't it? People sell down, then ETH price goes down. People hodl it, then it's more likely the ETH price is like to go up. So it'll be interesting to see that those narratives compete. The market will tell us soon enough. The next step before Shanghai fork goes live to the mainnet will be to release the upgrade on the Ethereum Goelia test network. Obviously, if you do it on the test network and you withdraw and it goes pretty well, then you can have high confidence after 3 test nets that it's going to work on the main chain. So it's kind of neat there, which is expected to commence in March. So that's kind of cool news. That's bullish news for Pulsechain too. Because obviously we were going to want Pulse withdrawals, right? If you're going to staking and validating with Pulsechain, you want to know that you can get your Pulse out and your yield, right? So that's pretty much it. The bullish news so far, 2 test nets ticking off there. Now we're going to get into the Hex price chart. Before we do that though, let's catch up on the chat there and see what other comments have jumped in there. Welcome everybody, by the way. Who else here we got jumped in here? We got Van Salmon House there. Hit the like, definitely smash the like, everybody. Big welcome to everybody. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button. Xenology says, talking about delayed gratification. Zen says Xenology. Nice to see you in the chat, by the way. We've got Crypto Freedom in House as well. What's up, Superman? Good to see you. Woohoo! Good to see you as well. Hex in SB says, catch up later on the way to gym. Hey, Hex SB, I just talked about you earlier as being one of our 5 longest members, so big shout out to you as well. See, I said he drops in, he goes to the gym and then drops in on the way. That's pretty funny. InvestX in house there. What's up, everybody? What's up, Superman? Hey, InvestX, good to see you as well. If you haven't checked out InvestX platform, definitely check it out. They just recently launched a launchpad. So InvestX, they're doing well. Venrex as well. Hello, Superman. Good to see you, Venrex. Who else there? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, I like that. I like the attitude. Pretty cool. And we got Tin Top in the house as well. What's up? What's up? Good to see you, Tin Top. Now, what else there? We're going to jump through some of this. Hex is looking great. It says PSI. Let's jump through some of those comments. Matt Jones in the house. Morning all from sunny Sydney. Good to see you. Good to see you, Matt. Yeah, it's been pretty hot in Australia, hasn't it? As I understand it. Archipelago in the house as well. Do you think we might see a testnet V3B for the staking rewards withdrawal? Possible, Archipelago. That's why I said we're still talking about V4, V4, V3B. It's possible. It's definitely possible out there. We've still got a bit of time frame. We're going to talk about that now in the Hex chart. Crypto Tycoon says hello, hope all as well. I think they may just do, yeah, I think, yeah, it's possible. They'll definitely, how they do that is a little tricky, but I think that's definitely possible there. It just makes sense, you know. We'll see. Still a bit of time. I don't know whether, yeah, it's tricky to see what they're going to do with that. I mean, they got either it's optional. They've already said it's optional. They can upgrade later, and they'll wait to see if it works. But hey, look, they may very well wait for it, and if it works in the first month, they might just go with that. Do a quick V2B, do the test there, and they may just launch with that. And they may just have a really tight, short window for that one. There's definitely plausible on the table there. Crypto Tycoon says hope all is well. Crypto Tycoon. Now, the one thing with V3 when it comes out, their Archipelago is that their code works really well. Like, they don't have many issues, metadata issues, anything like that, decimal places, you know, just these little things, sometimes that can trick things over. Then if it all goes well with the 4 clients, then yeah, it could be something they'll be very confident in. The more confidence they have that everything's being done right, then, and if they're on the low end of any issues, then yeah, they could definitely do maybe a quick one, and then you know, we're talking like 2-3 weeks, and then go for gold. The mainnet target can still be where I'm going to say it is still the earliest time frame. We'll get into that in a second. Hope all is well. Crypto Tycoon in the house there. Good to see you. Let's jump over to the Hex price, and we're going to talk about all the stuff at the moment. I might come back to the Hex chart as well to talk about the roadmap for Pulsechain. We've got the price at 6.675 cents at the moment. We've just flicked over to a new day. We're 2 minutes into new day, so we've got a brand new candle. This is the candle that we just finished. Nice green candle there, and this chart's looking pretty nice here. What do we got here? The high of the day, 7.01 cents. So we did touch 7 again for the second day, and we've got the low at 6.239 there, and of course we're bounced up there to 6.675. I actually haven't pulled up liquidity. I should have done that, but I haven't done that. So we've got a price over 24 hours is up 6.43%. That's pretty cool. And the last 6 hours, down 3%. Last hour down 1.6% there. So let's look at the 24 hours. We're at 317 buy trades versus 234 sell trades on the top pair. That's a 50% buy ratio. In terms of volume, we got it at 52%, so lower. But $1.9 million versus $1.6 million on the top trading pair with $7 million liquidity in there. So pretty cool there. Now, I've said this in Discord yesterday. Hex is the main game now. Last year it was all fine and dandy, and many of us did. We played some of the projects to get more value to pump into Hex again, and some of us did that pretty successfully. And of course, but now the main game is on. Hex is the proxy for Pulsechain, as the title says. Hex price reflects Pulsechain news and or in development, so shouldn't be taken lightly now. The main game is upon us, in my view, this year, and particularly in the first half of the year, it's looking very, very promising. So looking good. There's the Hex chart there. Now, some things that we had that are very important in this chart. We had the golden cross here. This is where this orange line, the 50-day EMA or exponential moving average, crosses over the red line there, the 200-day moving average. That crossed over. That's a bullish sign, golden cross. Very, very neat there. We also bounced off the 20-day EMA the other day, 3 days ago, and bounced off that. So that was really bullish too. So looking pretty good here on the old Hex chart at the moment. And of course, we have high expectations after the last update from Richard that the Pulsechain test at V3 is getting very close indeed. I've sort of made a general estimate call of between Thursday and Sunday. Weekend would be better for the gas fees because we like the retail to participate as well and not have to pay too much fees. But that's kind of looking good in that window. And hence we've got our poll on at the moment about the price estimations. So get in there and hit that up. So that is looking good there. Let's have a look at the RSI. Normally I do these small time frames. Normally I do 15 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, but we're just going to do the daily at the moment. And we've got the RSI here sitting at, where is it sitting here? Sitting at 67 or so, just underneath the 70 mark there. So kind of cool. A bit of room there to move on the old bust out by Sunday, say. So that's looking pretty good on the Hex chart. We're going to come back to the Hex chart though. But before we do that, we will get into the whale bot. Last 24 hours, we've got 12 million Hex stake for 55 days. Someone said it would have been better if it was 5,555 days. It sure would. It would have been a big jump in the T-shares as well. But that's one of these short stakers pretty much, isn't it? We've got 2.3 million Hex bought 18 hours ago for 148k. We had 11.7 million Hex stake for 370 days. Awesome. Fantastic. We've actually seen quite a lot of good long-term stakes lately. If you guys have recalled over the last few weeks in particular, they got 533 T-shares for that. The share rate's not waiting for anybody. I think everybody, obviously, if they're clued up about Hex, they've got a lot of Hex. They're doing this. They know all the numbers. They know all the numbers, and they're thinking about the strategy. How do they play this thing? And of course, they have different goals. What their income goal, capital goal, whatever they're doing, and we're seeing some people take that longer term decision. Very cool. We've got 100,000 Hex in stake with a negative 65% ROI. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Down 1,161 days over 2,920. That's pretty sad there, to be honest, in my view. Let's see what somebody's got a comment on here. Wallet D3888 has early in stake to pay penalty of 316,000 Hex, $20,000. This was worth $160,000 at the top. Wallet D38 has 68 stakes, totaling 11.4 million Hex. Coming out laddered, no big clumpy stakes, just spread out. He was pretty kind there. I thought that he might say something about that. But no, he says nothing about that. That was pretty kind of. Normally he says it's a poop poop or something like that, a poop poop, something like that. He's got a sense of humor. We've got 9 hours ago, 2.3 million Hex just sold for 148k there. What else there? 8 hours ago, 2.5 million just bought for 166,000. Then we had 2.7 million bought for 184,000. Don't forget there's traders in the mix here as well as longer term holders. That's kind of in the play. What else? 2.6 million bought for 174,000 6 hours ago. So we had some nice buying coming in, smashing us up there into the Hex chart. Let's go back to the hourly on Hex, and we might be able to see some of that stuff there. So that was 6 hours ago. So that's pretty much into this play here with these buys coming in. So that was really nice on the whale bot there, pushing us up here. And of course, we got as high as 7.01 cents. So pretty cool. We've actually, if you look at the hourly chart here, we've got higher lows. We've got higher highs in here and higher lows. So that's kind of cool in here. So this is where we tacked and we got to pretty much close to 7 cents. Where was it back here? We got up to 70 cents here. So we're actually looking pretty good in this chart with the higher lows in the chart there at the moment. But certainly 7 cents seems to be the main line to be attacked, and maybe third time lucky, right? Third time lucky. Let's go to the 4 hourly chart. It's probably a bit easier to see. Here's the 4 hourly chart here. So we hit 7 cents here, hit 7 cents here. We've still got the uptrend, still got higher lows, and maybe third time lucky, or maybe even the short time frame will tackle that 7 cents. Kind of looking good. So that's Hex Whalebot. Let's get into it, folks. We are 8 minutes into the new day. We're going to have a quick look at Hedron. We're going to come back to Hex later on to look at the Pulsechain timeline. We're at 2030 on the old Hedron, so nice. Was actually down, but it's moved back up, so that's kind of cool. And of course, maybe with Hex moving up, attacking that 7 cents mark there. It did actually get down to 18.95 or 18.90 there on the hourly, but has managed to move up with the Hex movement as well, so it's kind of cool. Remember, it is related to T-share. I just think that the one issue it's having is that it's the minting is just bigger than the burn, and so that's going to be an issue. That will fall away, I guess, over time, but I'm expecting the burn to fall away as well. So we'll see how that goes. That's kind of my only criticism there at this stage. But otherwise, doing well. from a Hedron price point of view. Over the 24 hours, we had 28 buys with 31 sells, so 47% on the buys, and the volume there, 64% buy volume though. So even we had less sells, 64% has been buying, and that is 171k versus 95k. So pretty cool. Up 5.4% on 24 hours there, just behind Hex. Let's jump over to the Hex HSI auctions, and of course this is the liquidation queue, 3,884 in there at the moment. People have to bring these into the auction house, otherwise they just sit in that liquidation queue. How many auctions we got on? 23. So we've had a decent amount of auctions in the second wave of the Hex HSI auctions. Let's have a look there. Yesterday we certainly had a lot of good T-shares up for grabs, so that's all burning, right? It's burning Hedron, so that's pretty good. What else there? We had 1 T-share, 3 T-shares, 1 T-shares there. Here's a decent one here, 500,000 Hex, 65 T-shares, 3 T-shares, 7 T-shares, 5 T-shares, so you can sort of see 20 T-shares, 8 T-shares there, so there's something for everybody there. Now if you want to bid on these, of course you need Hedron, and you need to use app.icosa.pro, the link's in our Discord under useful links, under Hedron Icosa section there, so you check that out in the Discord. That is the liquidations, sorry, in auctions. In terms of Watts NFTs, we had 1 Watts NFT burn in the last 24 hours, 80 endpoints, so they're pretty small, sitting at 21,561 on that. But Dev Huey did have something else to say as well as the Wattses. He's talking about 4 hours ago. He goes, Icosa is currently 79% down from its Hex arbitrage shielding price. Icosa versus T-share ratio is now at 230, down from 244 a few weeks ago. This means that Icosa is getting harder to mint as T-share rate increases, so that's a good thing to keep obviously the Icosa inflation in line. So that is kind of neat on that one, and he's got a couple of images for that there, so you can see that, and you can find all the info of course on Dev Huey's site, which is hexmodel.com, and that's also in the useful links there in Discord under Hedron Icosa, I believe. So that's kind of neat. That is pretty much that on the charts. We got no honorable mention charts today. That was it. We're going to get into Pulsechain. Before we do that though, let's catch up on the chats there, and we're getting into the main stuff. This is going to be a fun section, man. I love the Pulsechain section. Let's get into it. Before we do that though, let's talk about the comments in the chat, because people are important, and magically important. All right, so what else there? Let's get into it. We got Christian Collins in the house there. Let's go. Give me some wealth, says Christian. Nice one there. Tom Boss in the house as well. I got out of the perpetuals for Hex. Would rather the copy and think it's going to go up hard once V3 is out. I think that's a good play there, Tom Boss. Hex is the main game right now, and I think that is the case. Andrew Reynolds in the house there. Nice to see you, Andrew. Smiley face. We love that. So a big shout out to you. Christian says, I'm about to start buying $75 Hex every week for my, what's it, what birthday? Something birthday, to your birthday. All right, that's very awesome, Christian. Good dollar DCA strategy there. Dollar cost averaging is a dream. It really is good, and so nice play. Yes, sir, 7 cents is a good price. Even 10 cents is a great price to scoop. That's right. You've got to remember that Hex is not only doing well by itself fundamentally, with its own fundamentals, but it's also now, it is really, until we get Pulse Coin, it is the proxy for Pulsechain coin, and of course it moves with the news as well. Andrew says, happy hump day, everybody. That's Wednesday. Been watching Access and Silverlust. Oh, yeah, I don't talk about that, guys. Sorry, dude. You have to delete that, bro. Sorry, man. That guy there, he was smashing my channel. I can't have his name in my channel. Sorry, man. You have to delete that, Andrew. Billy X says, try to get more at once so you don't take as big of a percentage a hit as the gas fees, says Billy X. True. Brennan's in house there. You should be able to wrap it up. Blobfish King says Brennan. That's true. The perpetuals will be copied. They will be copied. Everything gets copied on the Ethereum over the Pulsechain for the most part. Maybe excluding some scams and a few other things possibly. So that is up to Richard there. All right, let's jump over to the main game. We're going to talk about Pulsechain, and of course this is the latest. I thought I had to get into this meme to kick it off. This has got a Hex t-shirt. I mean, it's not Pulsechain particularly, but it's got a Hex t-shirt here. It's got the lady looking at him, and he goes, "Hey lady, eyes up here, sheesh." I thought that was pretty funny. Hey, lady, light eyes up here. It's kind of partly true, right? People go, damn, Hex so sexy and Pulsechain so good. That was pretty funny. I thought that was a good laugh to kick it off. Anyway, let's get to Richard Hart here, and we're going to have a look here on the update. So this is Richard Hart's last update. Great Pulsechain news. Devs bet the bug and got stage 9 complete in Pulse Aragon. This means it's likely that the remaining metadata generating stages will complete as well. All clients are testing well now, and the tool is being prepared for testnet v3. So all clients are testing well now, so that we're very excited about the potential that Pulsechain testnet v3 coming up. Very good chance this week in my view. That's pretty much. It also followed up there with a screenshot of when they knew the bug was dead, and that was pretty cool. So get that screenshot there as well. Now, the thing I wanted to point out here is that Richard, this tweet now has reached over 500,000 views. So 518,000 views, folks. 518,000 views on the old Pulsechain update there. So over 500,000. Can you imagine what testnet v3 will get? I'm sort of saying easily maybe 1.5 million, probably something like that. Maybe 1.25 million. And then imagine what mainnet will be like. You know, I could easily see 2-3 million views on this easily. So I think that's kind of my guesstimation there. It's going to be a fun time. So really bullish there on the updates, and of course the crypto wants this, right? Crypto wants this. People got wrecked last year in CeFi and centralized exchanges, and people want DeFi to flourish. And of course, Pulsechain is going to take over market share with the DeFi space, and DeFi is going to take over market share because Pulsechain out of all crypto versus CeFi. It's going to be awesome, wonderful place. It's going to be wonderful. We already see influencers lining up. We already see exchanges lining up like Kraken and Ivan on Tech and people like that. So I think it's going to be fun to see that play out. All right, let us jump over to some of the other updates that we had. We've obviously checking in a GitLab here, and of course we've seen that people were logging in for work from the looks of it. We've got SJB there on the Pulsechain one, 28th logged in there, so he's just updated from yesterday. Richard Hart, of course, we noted logged in on 27th there, and of course we got our big news. Pretty sure it was the 26th as well. I can't remember what I did on live stream because I showed that before the announcement and said, hey, look, that's pretty interesting because he hadn't been on for months. So that was kind of cool. Brett Paulson, always logging in for work every day. Good old Brett. He's on the 28th there as well for the Pulsechain. GitHub there. Let's go to the Pulsex one. And of course, we've got Agris there logging in the 28th. We've got Brett, obviously, Brett Paulson or Bretep. You guys know my Stargate analogy there for one of the Egyptian gods. Bretep there. He's in for the 28th. We've got Hines in there as well, 28th of February. What else going on there? That's pretty much it for those ones. They all logged in for work. It's kind of cool. Pay them the money they deserve. Pay the money they deserve. That's how we roll. All right, so that is kind of cool. Now, this was a big deal. As you guys know, Pulsechain has got an ecosystem. It's not just the main chain and PulseX. It's got a big ecosystem building on top of it. And vertical integration is wonderful. But of course, you need stable coins. You need on-ramps, off-ramps, and you need cross-chain bridges, because you have to take your vertical closed system with all its amazing tokenomics with the big buy and burn, and of course the inflation burn there. But you also need to have strong stable coins and stuff like that. Well, Binance listing, Binance, as you know, they had the issue with BUSD, and of course CZ was talking about, well, we're probably going to have to go offshore and get some DeFi stables or something like that. And of course, what they've done is they've listed, they've followed their words up with actions. And so Binance listing triggers over 100% surge in Liquidity token. Now, we've been talking about this for months and months and months, of course, because Liquid Loans, the biggest sacrifice on Pulsechain, with over $50 million doing Liquid Loans, doing their lending service, of course, zero interest lending service. Pulse, obviously, as the main collateral, and of course their loan token as well, and of course this is the equivalent, so to their loan token. Now obviously Power City is also doing the EARNS protocol, forking Liquidity as well, so both of the Liquid Loans and Power City forking Liquidity, and of course Power City doing the EARN protocol there, and of course going to have their own platforms there with EARN, and that should, look what's happened to Liquidity here. LQTY is the ticker for Liquidity on Ethereum, and look, it's had a big massive surge, and not surprised. These are the best models. Now, remember, the history of this is that you've got You got DAI, make a DAO, and then of course Liquidity wanted to make this better, and so I think they have. And then of course now you got Power City and Liquid Loans are building that for Pulsechain. So you can see this was the right path to take, and the market's going. I said the market's going our way. So this is what I mean. Everything's kind of going our way. There's only one hurdle in front of us between March and June, and that is the interest rate rises. Everything else looks pretty glorious for DeFi, looks glorious for the Pulsechain, etc. Everything else, so it's pretty nice there. And obviously, we've got some real economy effects with wages and things like that, but I think crypto can survive even in that sort of conditions. So particularly Pulsechain. So Binance listing triggers over 100% surge in Liquidity token. Binance rolled out spot trading supporting for Liquidity on Tuesday. Liquidity protocol, a native token Liquidity, shot up by 108% after the listing announcement by giant Binance. And this is intentional, right? So this is different from a normal listing. And of course, the decentralized borrowing protocol essentially enables users to draw 0% interest loans against Ether using their collateral. Obviously, on Pulsechain, we're going to have liquid loans with PLS, the main coin for Pulsechain, and of course, with PulseX, with Power City, we're going to have using PulseX as their collateral. So this is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for the EARN protocol. LUSD, which is the USD peg stablecoin, is used to pay out loans and needs to maintain a minimum collateral of only 110%. So these protocols will be using similar. The other thing, of course, on liquid loans, we're going to have USDL. So it's just the opposite of LUSD on ETH chain there. And of course, Power City there's going to have the PXLD or something like that. So yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. I hope I got that one right there. Probably got one letter wrong. But that is pretty much it for the stable. Binance announced its Liquidity in the innovation zone with two trading pairs, Liquidity BTC and Liquidity USD Tether. Trading will commence on February 28th, so it's already kicked off. Withdrawals, on the other hand, will open on March the 1st, so obviously coming up. Additionally, Liquidity is also being added as a borrowable asset in the isolated margin account. There's a significant adoption here by Binance. The innovation zone is essentially a dedicated trading zone that enables users to trade new tokens that are likely to have high volatility, can potentially pose a greater risk than other tokens. And this is probably the wrong category, but hey, it's there. Following the listing, Liquidity surging by well over 30%. According to the latest stats in DeFi Llama, total value locked in the protocol stands at approximately 600 million, while this is substantially reduction from its peak of 4.52 billion. Now you got to remember this peak at the beginning was due to a big market player. In fact, some people even say it was CZ himself or somebody like that. I just can't remember the commentary on that, but that was some time ago. In the first couple of months, it had this massive TVL locked at the beginning. You've got to remember this launched about 5-6 years after the Ethereum, and I think it was about February of that year. I'm just trying to think what year it was. I think it was 2021. I think it was February 2021. And then, of course, up through April, had this big TVL locked in there. Some big player was locked in there. And then, of course, that got pulled out. But the protocol has still done very well over that period of time. And of course, since Terra Luna, the protocol, all eyes have been on the protocol. And it's had its rallies before, including the stablecoin being well over peg many times. So I think it's been at 1.04 cents and stuff like that. So it's been well above peg, so it's kind of cool. The market will allocate money to the better cryptos, right? This is what the market does. And of course, during the bull run in 2021, the TVL is still up 50% since the beginning of this year. So now, obviously, being on Binance, its future looks even brighter, right? So pretty cool. Imagine Loan Token or EARN Token here on Binance. Imagine, obviously, Pulse and PulseX on Binance. The stable coins on Binance, obviously a big player there. Now, obviously, I don't generally support centralized exchanges, but the reality is it creates value. So that's if you're into only value, then obviously you can't ignore the Binance. And but on the other hand, of course, we want to Pulsechain is going to expand the DeFi, and we want to take market share away from Binance. So though it's a short-term gain, we really want Pulsechain and DeFi to take over the medium long-term play. And of course, that could do it pretty fast. So we'll be doing our best to make that happen. Educating people is very important there as well. We're going to have our own on-ramp, off-ramps. That's why another reason why they're so important is that we can onboard people directly. So very bullish news. In any case, really great news, folks, and bodes well for our top-tier protocols that are coming to Pulsechain. Very, very good calls. The other thing, of course, is Liquidity at the moment is at, let me refresh here on Liquidity. Just get the latest here, $2.14 at the moment, up 67.5% at the moment. Really, really nice play. And I looked at the stablecoin, LUSD earlier, it's at peg at $1. So that's kind of where the play is at the moment. So yeah, if you want to look at the market caps on here, circulating supply 90 million LQTY tokens. Remember the equivalent on this is loan and earn token there with our protocols. Market cap at 194 million US dollars there. All right, so very cool. Let's jump over to the Hex Daily Stats. Before we get into that though, let's catch up on the chat. We've got 55 people in the house. That's a perfect number, 55. So we're going to get into the Hex Daily Stats here. Should be hot off the press. Who else has jumped in here? I'm going to jump through some of that. Billy X says, try to get more at once so you don't take as big of a percentage hit with the gas fees, is Billy X. And I guess it's around buying Hex. Does anybody know if Hex on Polygon can be a bridge back to Ethereum? It can be, Blobfish King. I've done it myself. Brennan says in house there, you should be able to wrap it, Blobfish King. The perpetuals will be copied over. They will indeed. Thanks for the great streams too, says Tom Boss. I can't imagine how much content you're going to have to go through once Pulse is out. Yeah, I'm tired already. Now it's going to be fun, man. You guys, we're all on the same journey together. And it's going to be a fun ride. We're in the best ecosystem in the crypto for the next bull run, and Pulsechain may very well lead the bull run, lead us into the bull run there. And we won't have to wait for 2024 if Pulsechain comes out by the middle of the year, for example. We got what else there? Blockfish King says, I tested CoinStash. Remember, Hex got listed to CoinStash recently, buying $60 of Hex, and now realize it's the Polygon version, says Blockfish King. Interesting. Okay. Well, you may also be able to use Swap Space or something like that, Blobfish King. You want to use whatever services offer transfer cost rather than a bridge cost. A lot of those bridge costs are very expensive, particularly with high gas fees. So using a transfer service like Swap Space may be your best bet there. Let us know how you get on there. But we've got useful links in the Discord. We've got those links there, so maybe try that. It will give you the option if it comes up. Hex, I haven't actually checked Hex Polygon, Hex ETH there. But that would be the cheapest way of doing it. Tom Boss says, ouch, the Polygon Hex, don't they give warnings before you buy it? Also, what are the withdrawal fees? Well, fortunately, it's going to an MVM chain, so you were lucky. Otherwise, you may have lost that money. That's what happens sometimes too. Hex is the GOAT, says DB Cooper. It definitely is the GOAT. And of course, there's Superman, Wind, Moon, Rocket Ship to Pulsar. Well, it's getting very close, as you know, DB. It's really getting close this time. That is the Discord link there from Wookie. If you want to join it here, and it's free to join. And we've got amazing moderators, amazing community in there. And of course, get in there, have fun. Brendan says, I know the perpetuals were getting copied over. I was just wondering why Tomboss would want to get out. What's your strategy for that, Tomboss? Well, there's a liquidity issue around perpetuals. So with the ownership tokens, probably the only criticism I have of those. Otherwise, they're awesome. But maybe that's part of the issue there. Xenologist says, Mitch Ray's title, crypto rolling over. So what Hex is pumping? I agree with you on that, Xenologist, as well. All right, let's get back into it. Hex Daily Stats. You know, at the end of our live stream, we get paid every single day of this live stream. Every day we get paid at the end of this live stream. So what other live stream you get paid on? I guess there's a few, but you get my point. We get paid, and we love getting paid. Let's get into it, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun to get paid. The 28th of February 2023, can you believe it? The last day of February, unbelievable. The price there at 6.697 cents. Excuse me, up 6.9%. That is awesome. Now, the ROI multiplier from the all-time low, I don't normally talk about this. I have the last couple of times. But is that 1186x there? I've also talked about it. We were below 1,000, so this wasn't important. But we're back over 1,000x now from the all-time low there, 5th of January 2020. The Hex payout per T-share, 6.347. We get paid. You get Hex, you buy it, you stake it, and you get T-shares, and then you get a payout of the reward pool. And it is currently 6.347 Hex per T-share. And of course, T-share stands for trillions of shares. It is cool. We're in such a cool system. Paid. And of course, because we got the yield is pretty tidy, we also got the price up 6.9%. We're getting yield and price gains. It's pretty nice like that. All right, so what is the share price? It is at 1,777 for a T-share. And of course, the share rate is increased by 6.3 to 26,532. But remember, if you stake, because Hex has an effective bonus at the beginning, the longer pays better, you get 20% more shares per year. that you lock up to 10 years, so that's 200%, so you can get that for a third of the price. What you can see here with the T-share price share rate, that is just for short staking. The average stake length there, 6.41 years. And obviously this is actually going to be longer because the Hex Gold Whale is in there for a 30-day stake. And he puts about 3.5 billion Hex in there. And I think it was 146,000 T-shares. That is 6.4, so that's going to probably jump back up here, maybe about the 6.77. So anyway, 6.4 is a very long time. 6.7 is even longer. The annual percentage yield rate there, another juicy 35.86% yield paid out in Hex terms. Obviously the Hex price in US dollar terms can move around. Now here's a big thing for you. Look at this, down from 75.8 million Hex in the pool down to a 52.3 million. Unbelievable. That's pretty awesome. In fact, that's the lowest. Is that the lowest in the last 10 days? Oh no, 10 days ago it was lower. It was at 40.8 million, which was pretty crazy. You got to remember when Hex was up at 52 cents, there was only 58 million. It was actually 48 cents on our timestamp, but it was at 58 million Hex in the pool. So it's just, things have changed a lot there. Now liquidity is just under $7 million there, 6.9 million, and we've got just under 2,500 ETH in the pools as well. Remember, liquidity has been set by the LP players to set for a higher price, to help the higher price there. And of course, the change in T-shares up 8,000 today, and we're at 10,243,000 T-shares. Remember that we have a lot of short-term stakers, and of course, most of them do restake. Occasionally, we have some old Hex OG stakes come out, and for them, obviously, they may be up, 800x or so, and some of them decide to sell out. We saw one yesterday, didn't we? I think it was that sold out, but that's most of them do just restake as they're coming out there. Most of them are short stakers rather than the long OG ones coming out there. I don't know what the percentage is, but we could probably see that on Hexifire website. Let's jump over to the percentage of coins. Stake percentage of coins, 10.22% of Hex is staked at the moment. And we got a very nice 1 million Hex penalties. Now remember, 50% goes to the origin account, and that lowers, if it never sells, that lowers our effective inflation. And of course, 50% goes to stakers. So it's an addition to the payout yield there that you will get. So if you add if you take 50% of that, add that to the 65 million payout for the inflation stuff there, and then divide it by the T-shares that we have, this one here. Then you should get a number that approximates this, give or take 6.41. That's the number there. What else have we got going in there? We're going to have a look at the change in growth for Hex. Hex obviously continue to grow. We're up 152 holders here. 152 holders to 321,525. This is on the Hex contract on Etherscan of the liquid holders. But this is our headline number. The stakers obviously buying Hex and staking Hex. That's what it's all about. It's a mutable code. You mint your own, you stake yourself, you mint your own rewards at the end. There's no middle person. It really is true DeFi. Pretty awesome. And remember, it had 3 audits as well to kick us off. Really did lead the way for this sort of thing. Current stakers, 119,239, up 46. And of course, total holders up 288 to 534,840. If you want to find out more information, click in the video description. We've got the hex.com website. If you make sure you always do your own investment due diligence. Obviously nothing on this channel is investment advice. We're heading towards the end of the 3rd month of the 4th year. We're at day 1185 now, and we've got the base payout there sitting at just above, just below I should say, 6.293. So awesome. How many penalties will we get today? That will lift the payout as well. So very awesome stuff there. The Hex Gold Whale, of course, that's coming out I think within the next week. We'll have a look at that later on another day. That's Hex Day Stats, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And remember, hey ladies, eyes up here, sheesh. So hey, blonde hair there. Who do we know with blonde hair looking at the Hex shirt there? Who do we know? I'm gonna get in trouble. Rug suit man. That's pretty cool. I love that meme. It's pretty fun. In any case, we've got Hex here on the 4-hourly chart is up to 6.7 cents here. Oh, 6.75. Someone asked me on Twitter, will we have a Hex token pump during the live stream? Well, it looks like we're having that at the moment, but will we hit 7 cents? I think is what they asked me. No guarantees. No guarantees. All right, we're up to here. We're up hour and 4 minutes. We're doing really well. We've got 58 people in the house at the moment, so a big welcome to everybody. And I think we'll jump in here. We've got Christian Conti. I didn't know I can buy Hex on a different network and send it to Ethereum or Pulsechain when it launches. You will be able to do that on Official Bridge and Power City's Portal X, which is going to have over 20 blockchains and thousands of tokens. It's going to be pretty seamless too, Christian. It won't be too complicated. It'll be nice and simple. Help people to do that too. Christian Collins says, "Cause in that case, it will be good to buy it dirt cheap and transfer it to get the max value." Well, you're getting a copy on Pulsechain too if you're at the right block at the fork, and of course you'll also be able to transport Ethereum tokens over as well. I think this is possible in my dreams, says Christian. Brendan says, just a reminder to people sending wrapped eHex to Pulsechain that you won't be able to stake it. You will have to convert to PHEX first, says Brennan. That's true. But depending on price, up 48 hours could be a risky play, says Brennan. You guys having your own conversation there. After the stream, Rag to Riches raid. Wasn't Rag to Riches on earlier? I thought sure Rag to Riches was on earlier there. Magic Couple Riders on Rag to Riches here, Sandy Beach. There. Hope they're paying you for the advertisement there, Sandy Beach. Hope they're paying you for the advertisement. Xenology says we can't hear you talk while playing sounds, horns, etc. Xenology. Yeah, I fell for that trick the other day. It does appear to when I play the sound effects, it does muddle my voice, as it were. My voice. All right, the sound effects finished. I didn't talk until the end. I have to remember that, though. Good point, Xenologist. All right, so we're looking pretty good here. 6.721. We're up 6.45 on the 24 hours. It's looking pretty nice there. Lots of cool alpha today, man. I mean, honestly, the ETH withdrawals, that's bullish for Pulsechain. Obviously, what is good for Ethereum is good for us, and that's exciting news. It's good to see the adoption with some of our top protocols on Binance. That's bullish for our top tier dApps in the Pulsechain ecosystem. So there's some really good insights today, and it looks like crypto is going to keep growing. You know, you got Mastercard and Visa looking like they're still proceeding with their plans. Now, obviously, we want to take market share, and of course, we're going to keep working on that up against those players as they come in kind of late, right? They're coming in very late into the system, but it's going to be good for us. Christian says, I'm so mad that I missed both sacrifices, PLS and PLSX, but it's all good because I'll buy in on the market. Yeah, there'll be opportunities, Christian. There will be opportunities. And if you're not buying with dry powder or ratio trading, then, you know, a good option is Power City because they'll have all these top tier utilities and all the fees they make on those will end up buying Pulse. So I really do think that's a pretty good play as well. Sacrifice of Power City is still open. And that's just a neutral thing, right? So obviously, we as influencers in the Hex and Pulsechain space, we don't generally, I'd say 99% of the time, these projects that we talk about, we just do it for free. We just talk about it because they're good. So it's not like in other parts of the crypto market where influencers are, shilling margin trading and getting paid on all that sort of stuff. So it's a very different thing. So when we do talk about these projects, as you guys know, I only really like talking about the top tier utility projects so that you guys have have my opinion on it at least, yeah, so I think that's the best value. You want to go for the low-hanging fruit, the real high-value utilities. I think this makes sense, right? Every time as soon as you go past that, and that's probably the half a dozen, maybe 10 projects top so far that are native to Pulsechain. That you're going to have your high probability. You want to play a high probability game with a potentially big return. So that's what we try to focus on this channel. So I think that's well worth doing. All right, what else there? We got Brendan says Hex Token channel pump. Yeah, I think we just lost it, did we? Do I have to move to the 15-minute chart to get the Hex Token pump? Yay! Yeah, just rallied up there, and then it's got sold down there on the 15-minute. We might keep 15-minute, just keep our Hex Token channel pump intact. Venrex says, love the horn. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Everyone's talking about the horn. I can't know what you guys are talking about there. The poll, Superman. The poll says, Brennan, you're right. Thanks, Brennan. We're going to finish the poll. How many votes did we get? Let's see how we got on there. And end poll. Thank you, Brennan. I almost forgot about that. Will Hex break 7 cents and stay over it by the end of this week? We got 96 votes. We're almost at 100 votes there, Brennan. And of course, the results are 73% thinks we will. I think that's a good chart choice there. Maybe 12% and no 10%. Unsure 3% there. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'd be in that top group there. We'll see how we get on though. If you're in the no camp and you win out, let us know and come into the chat and Say that you got it right. Say that you got it right. All right. What else have we got going? Andrew says, feeling like the wait for Pulsechain is worth it. Bear market behind us, 150 plus projects ready to launch. DeFi is the GOAT. Pulsechain will be winning so hard in 2023. Absolutely, Andrew. Absolutely. So that's cool. After the stream, I'll watch the Oak Island Treasure, says Christian. I don't even know what that is. So I'm sure it's a good TV program. Hopefully they found some treasure. What else have we got? Chronic Carl says Zen officially down 1% on TradingView. Yeah, hey, look, I'm with Zen. That's Zen's play is the burn roadmap. So the roadmap's not launched. So for me, all that doesn't mean much because we were expecting it to go down. So yeah, it's pretty much doing what we expect at the moment. We will probably talk about that again when we see some burn, when we actually see the projects launch for that. So stay tuned. I know there is a few smaller projects launched for that, but the big ones we're talking about, we'll see how that goes. I know Zenology will be happy about that, but yeah, still waiting for that. Thanks for the update there, Chronic Carl. Race, we got 6.686 cents at the moment. I think this chart's still looking pretty juicy and pretty glorious. And I think we're going to have a fun time going into this week. Imagine if the testnet V3 launches. That would be awesome. Hey, look! Hey! We got the pump. Hex Token channel pump. I should finish now. I should finish right now. We've got the pump going. 6.758. What happens if it keeps going and I go offline? I go offline now. What's terrible? Brennan says liquidity is tight at the moment. Says liquidity is tight at the moment. Says Brennan. I bet it is. Normally I have been pulling that up every day. I just didn't pull it up today. The old liquidity pair. Brennan says, woo, nice. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to go up. Let's have an hour and 11. We've got a couple of minutes left to go. Let's pull up the Uniswap liquidity. And I think that's this one here. Let's pull this up. Let's go to the top pair there. And let's go to liquidity and see where is Uniswap V3. Oh, yeah, it's looking pretty good. So here we are here. Remember, these are the buyers on the right side. These are the sellers on the left side. And this is just the stuff that's in the AMN liquidity for V3, the top trading pair. And we're sitting at 674, which we see on the chart there. Now, obviously, if we get down to there, how long big are these? So the buy support on this side is $23,000. These candles are $23,000 each. The sell side, we've got Hex, as in Hex terms. We've got 333,000 Hex on each of these candles. So that's on the selling. They want to sell the Hex. They're around about 330,000 candles. So you can imagine someone that's going to come in by, say, 1.2 million. That would eat up all this, and we would end up getting through to the top end here, 691. So that's not a lot. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that can buy 1.2 million Hex. And then, of course, that's when we get down here, 6.95, 6.99. There's only about 180 to 200,000 Hex in these candles. And then suddenly we drop down to 7 cents here. So that is where the play is there. Now, obviously, there's limit orders. There is off-market stuff, which is where most of the funds are. So anytime we could see something come in or out there on both directions, of course, sell into this buy side. But you can see it's actually quite thin here. There's buy support at 5.4 cents. That's similar to yesterday and the other day from memory. So not much change there. There are these big giant candles down here as well. They're $116,000 each, these candles, sitting down at 3.8 cents there. So there's about $350,000 worth of support there. But high here, there is around $200,000 support in the 4 cent range there on that. So that's kind of cool. And this wall here, these are $43,000 candles at 5.4. So there's lots of those. So people hopefully, oh, what was that? I had some weird thing going with the audio. People hopefully go over the top here, and up we go. That is the price Hex Token channel pump, and we're coming up to an hour and 15 minutes. We're doing awesome today. We had so many cool stuff on today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Brendan's in the house there says, Axis says if we eat up the remaining liquidity, we can run up to 12 to 14 cents. Yeah, well, that's always true, right? But we still need the buyers to come in. Obviously, Pulsechain testnet V3 is very excited. I'm very, I think 8.6 to 10 cents is kind of the play, and 12 cents is definitely possible there. Woohoo! The testnet V3 launch, I think it's actually going to be a bullish thing, and people will say, hey, look, Richard Hart's teams managed to fork the proof of stake with 4 clients. That's pretty bullish. and we may see a little dips in there, but then a rally, probably a super rally into the mainnet. I'm definitely think all-time high is definitely possible in the lead up to the Pulsechain mainnet, because not only is it just Hex, but it's also the run up into you're talking about Pulsechain. Hex is the Pulsechain coin until Pulsechain launches, so it is the main play. I said it yesterday in Discord, so let's not miss out there. Yeah, 12 to 20 cents is pretty easy. Over 20 cents, pretty easy for Hex to do that. So not surprised, but like I say, I think we're going to need a catalyst to get up to that next level there, Brennan. And that's V3 testnet. All right, cool. All right, hope you guys have enjoyed it today. Now in 15 minutes. Big shout out to everybody. Live long and prosper. Take care, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be in Discord, of course, as usual, and I'll catch you then. Take care. Bye for now. Peace out. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Woohoo!